47 bloblets now, 7k health Zac with Warmogs, the new Spirit Visage and Protector's Vow. Hello everybody, welcome back to another TFT gameplay video on the road to Diamond. If you like seeing me kick, scream and cry in pain, then you're going to have a great time on this video, because that's what we do. We grind through Emerald, trying to get to Diamond, giving you guys hopefully some helpful tips along the way to improve your gameplay, as well as improve my own. This is new patch day, so we've got new items in the game. Hopefully we're going to be able to test some of them out. As far as traits and units go, they haven't actually done that much this set, so the teams that were good are still good. I think the interesting thing for us is definitely going to be how does it look from an items perspective. We've got an early Graves and Alistar, which is good for Golden Ox. We could also maybe think about a Bastion Morgana game. So we'll just pick up the Bastions and Morganas for now and see if the game gives us more, but I think we'd rather go for Golden Ox, especially as we've got a Rage Blade already, which is an ideal Philo sign. But you can see here the Rage Blade gains 7% stacking attack speed every second rather than what it used to do, which was every attack. So a very big change. It may seem small, but what this actually means is that before, where 2 Rage Blades on a lot of carries was incredible, it's not as good now because they don't stack off themselves. Each attack doesn't give 14% attack speed, it's just every second. So what it means is that Rage Blade is better if you have 1, but worse if you have 2. So before, where the build of Aphelios was 2 Rage Blades and a Gunblade or an Infinity Edge, I think the build now may just be Rage Blade, Gunblade, Infinity Edge. But we'll see what we get. Titanic Titans doesn't look bad. We get some burn, we get extra health. Divinicore is not really helpful for our team. Trade Sector is not great because we're playing Golden Ox and we want to spend gold anyway, not have free rerolls, and we don't need preparation. So we'll take Blistering Strikes and Titanic Titan. Get some extra gold, and we're going to put the Rage Blade onto the Graves for now, as we haven't actually got better item holder. We're going to sell some of these units. Don't think we're going to play around this anymore. Pick up one of the Cogmores and we'll create our team. So the team is going to be 6 Golden Ox units. It's Golden Ox Animal Squad is the team. So 6 Golden Ox, Jarvan, Aphelios, Annie, Zarya, Leona for Anima Squad, Aurora and Viego. And that's the team. You want to try go to level 9, play around 3 Anima Squad, you get some Marksman, Vanguard and 6 Golden Ox. This team can be a challenge to play sometimes because it is somewhat reliant on getting high cost units relatively early. But we've got some extra health to play around thanks to the Titanic Titans, and Blistering Strikes isn't bad either. So let's take a look at some of the other items. Striker's Flail has been updated. This used to be Guardbreaker, and what Guardbreaker used to do is it would give you damage amp if you hit somebody with a shield, and it would also give AP rather than attack speed. So now it's better for both AD and AP units, and it gives critical strikes, give damage amp. So what you want to do is put this on a character who has Infinity Edge or Jewel's Gauntlet, and so I'm thinking this actually could be good on our Aphelios this game as well. So we'll see if we're able to try any of these new items out. We're just quickly taking a look at the traits here. Doesn't look like anybody is challenging us, which is great. Actually, I'm going to chuck the glove on Graves as well, give him a little bit of extra damage boost. You can see here with the Rage Blade, it can tell you the stacking percentage attack speed that it's giving you, rather than before where it just told you how many attacks you've done. So 84% attack speed, which it's done over, trying to do quick maths, 12 seconds. TFT is now going to become a maths game of can I divide my Rage Blade number by 7. Alright, we've leveled up. We're thinking, what can we put on? Gotta be honest, there's not really any particularly good options. I think we'll just chuck on a Mundo, go for 4 Bruiser, and if we lose we'll sell the Cogmore. Let's take a look around. So we've got a Boombot player, we've got a Dynamo player. I think this is a new, oh, I don't think I've seen that before. Somebody's got the new Kraken Slayer on Vayne, looks really cool. Bastion, techie, Bastion. You can see we've got 4 people, I think, going for this new Morgana team. Which is fine. We're not planning on going for it. Hopefully we'll win this battle, but if not, it's not a huge issue. You tend to find when I play around the graves, if he dashes into the enemy backline's line of fire, then I always lose. But you can see in this battle, Kindred's just focused on Alistar, which means we win. I can hold this sort of useless Fogmore. In fact, I'm going to sell and pick up the Shaker instead. I think the Shaker has more chance of being used. So we are going to get to move early on the carousel. We want a sword. A bow's not bad either. And we might just take the bow if we can reach it. Yeah, we'll take the bow. We're going to use Last Whisper, is what we're thinking to use for the bow. Last Whisper's great, gives a lot of armor shred. I'm thinking now that Double Rageblade isn't as good, it might be the optimal build for Aphelios, but if not, it's definitely part of the optimal build for Zarya. And that means along with the Blistering Strikes and the Last Whisper, we have what people call Burn and Shred. Shred is where you reduce enemies' resistances, like we're doing with the Last Whisper here. You can see it says that we're going to reduce Sunder, which reduces armor, and then we've got the Burn from the Blistering Strikes. So we're reducing the enemy healing, and at the same time, we're also increasing our own damage by reducing their armor. So a great combination. And good use of the Titanic Titans as well. It's always a bit not great when you have Titanic Titan and you're first on the carousel. Because, what's the point? Okay, we're against somebody who looks like they're going for some kind of Street Demon team, maybe. But I think our team's going to be a lot stronger. 2-star Alistair's great for tanky. We've got some pretty good items on the Graves. I think the Rageblade, we can see the benefit on Graves, actually. It's a lot stronger than the old Rageblade was. Because the old Rageblade was reliant on him attacking. Whereas this one just gives him attack speed every second. So for characters who attack slowly, it's actually a lot stronger. And we're seeing that on the early game Graves, which we're happy with. We've got 50 gold already, so in a pretty good economic situation. Only one other person has 50 gold already, and now after this round we can start working on getting our Golden Ox Horde up and increasing that damage amp that we get. We're thinking maybe we'll play around 4 bruisers early game, depending on what we get. They've also, while we're on the topic of the new items, they've gotten rid of Redemption, which has now been replaced with Spirit Visage, which used to be a artifact item, but they've made it not as strong as it used to be, of course. Otherwise that would be extremely unfair. So we are against one of these Bastion players. He's doing button mash Poppy, which can be really strong if played correctly. We're hoping we can get rid of this Jax. Graves can get a few attacks on Morgana before he dies. It's going to be a close one, but I think we've got it. So, great win streak, first stage, winning every single battle. And that's just playing around the early Graves. And I think the buffed Rageblade is really helping us a lot here. So we're going to level up. We'll chuck on Rengar for now. Gives us Executioner. We also get 2 Street Demons, so maybe there's a Bold where we actually replace Darius with something like an Echo or a Jinx, maybe. But we'll have to see what we get in our shops. We want tank items here, or maybe more Aphelios items. I'd be willing to try the Kraken Slayer, as I think combined with Rageblade it could be a really strong item too. Okay, some interesting stuff, a lot of rods. We've got Gunblade, which we're pretty happy to use. Implant size, increase the champ's max health by 350, so we're going to save that for Leona, as she's our main tank. We'll let this rod reroll, and I think we'll just put on the Gunblade. It's a great item for Aphelios. Graves can use it for now. We'll see what we get in this next shop. If we get a Street Demon unit, I think we're going to play it. We did. Probably the worst one, but we did. I think it's still worth doing. So, play around this. We're going to put on the Gunblade. We've also got a belt, which is a great versatile tank item. We'll chuck it on the Alistar for now. We do want to level up, but it doesn't make sense right now, as we're just going to be really inefficient with our Golden Ox Horde, so we will keep it how it is. This is quite a strong level 6 board, so we may lose this battle. The only saving grace is that his only 2 cost is Morgana, although our only 2 cost is Alistar, so I'm not sure if we can take him down. You can see this stacking attack speed on Graves is really devastating on the Rage Blade. He's getting so much more attack speed than he would have got the old version of the Rage Blade. Unfortunately not enough. I think if we had leveled up we probably would have won the battle, but all good things must come to an end, and it would have been hard to predict that it'd be such a close battle. Let's see what trait we get. Hoping for something good. We don't really need Omnivan. Random item's not terrible. We don't want Collector. We're not really going for many free costs. Your team gains 2 free units to start from the front 2 rows. It's not great. I think I'd rather go for the random item. Gain random component for 16 allied champions that die. So do we want random components for allied champions' deaths, or do we want a random item? I think we want random component. We're going to go for eye for an eye. We are going to pick up the Echo. This team seems to weirdly be turning into some kind of street demon team. We'll chuck on the Jinx for now, I guess. We'll sell the Shaco just that we make our economy. And potentially we go to level 7 and play around street demon. We can't really pivot into street demon. I didn't realize it gave me a component now. Do we put on the redemption? That's not redemption anymore, it is spirit visage. So it regenerates 2.5% of missing health per second. It no longer does it around your allies, so it heals more health, but only for the person using it, and it also gives them some durability. I think it's a new video, let's try out the new item. Sometimes I'd hold the tier maybe for a Spirit of Shojin for Zarya, but I think we're willing to give the new item a spin. So here we are, Spirit Visage. Redemption, I believe, regenerated 5% health every 5 seconds. So this is definitely a lot more health regeneration, but it is only on the person using it. For a team like ours, that's good though, as Leona's going to be our primary tank anyway. This person's going double Kraken Slayer on the Vayne, which sounds quite interesting. We've also got Champion Duplicator for later, which will be nice when we want to try and get a 2-star Aphelios or Leona, or something like that. We can't spend any gold yet, because it will not marry up well with our Golden Horde, and we're on a lose streak anyway, so we're not pushing for quick wins. Looks like this one is going to be a win. There's 2 good ways to play around Golden Ox in the early game, for me at least. It tends to be with either Divinicore or with Street Demon, and that's just because they marry up well with the existing traits on the Golden Ox team. Okay, so we're going to be early on the carousel again. We're looking at the units, nothing great. I think another tank iron. We'll also take up the spatula, of course. So I think we'll go for the belt. If we can get the spatula, we'll take it. Fantastic. We get the spatula. Really great value from Titanic Titans there. Now we want to combine this with a belt if we can get one for Golden Ox Emblem. If we can get a Golden Ox Emblem, it means we can play this team at level 8 and just drop Graves. Might be hard to get these 2 5 costs. We could also maybe still go to level 9 but play with something like a Kobuko or a Samira, or even a Zac or Garen or something like that. I'm thinking Garen might be a good choice. So we've hit level 7. We can chuck on the Zyra for 5 Street Demons. So it doesn't actually feel like we're playing a Golden Ox game, does it? But promise you we are. Promise you we are. Thinking Garen could be really interesting because we could get Golden Ox Emblem onto Zarya, which would be great. That's really the main one. I think you could do Anima Squad maybe on Aphelios, but it would definitely be Golden Ox on Zarya would be a big one. Kobuko would be good, just for Bruiser, and Spirit would be good. So we're thinking of those units if we do go for level 9 anyway, and play around with Golden Ox and Spatula that we're hopefully going to get. It also means that we're not as reliant on hitting an early Viego to reach 6 Golden Ox, which is huge. It is really big. The reason why it's so good is because 6 golden ox gives us a lot. You see there, 100% loot chance, 7% chance to lose a component. So we get effectively 40% more gold by having 6 golden ox compared to 4 golden ox. The damage amp's not really relevant, it's only 2%. It's definitely for the loot, that's why we want it. We've got the Jarvan, can't really play around him at the moment, otherwise we'll drop a trait somewhere. Once we get Annie or Aphelios, we're going to drop Echo and Zyra and play around the Golden Ox rather than playing around. I haven't noticed that this player is actually going for Marksman Vanguard, I think, so we are going to be contested. He's also got a couple of Golden Ox units, so we're definitely going to be contested. But this team isn't a team that you can't play if you're contested. It still works fine. We should be able to level up here. Sorry, next round. But we can spend some gold towards leveling up. Chuck the Jarvan on. That's silly me. For some reason I thought I'd leveled up already. Next round we'll chuck the Jarvan on. Yeah, he's got 3-star Skarner. And he's going for a Marksman Vanguard team. He's holding some Addies though, so maybe he's thinking about a Golden Ox pivot. Got Graves, that's good. 2-star Graves early would have made a big difference for us, but we don't want to be rolling for it for ages. Okay, we've actually got the components to build the new Void Staff, but it's just not good for our team, so we're not going to build it. Okay, we get Jinx, we do get a bunch of gold. Okay, we're going to spend some gold towards leveling up, and then we're going to spend a little bit towards re-rolling. Spend one more. That's all we can spend for now. Sell the Gragas to make Econ. Don't really want to use a static, or sorry, Void Staff. So the Void Staff, by the way, basically turns the static Shiv into a Last Whisper, but for AP. He gets quite a strong Poppy here. Jeez, that's a button mash with pretty much ideal items. Not sure if we're going to be able to kill this one. As you can see, whenever she casts, she heals up a lot of health and does a ton of damage. It's fine though, next round's going to be our level 8 where we start rolling for a bit. We'd maybe like Pandora's items just to guarantee the Golden Ox emblem. But let's see what the game wants to give us. Clockwork Accelerator's really good for this team. Can't do Pair of 4s because we're going to have too many 4 costs. Malicious Monetization would be good, but we're not confident we're going to win every battle. So we're going to go for the Clockwork Accelerator. We've got the Graves. We are now going to roll for some of these units that we need. Okay, so we're going to get rid of Zyra. We're going to put on Leona. We're also going to get rid of Echo, put on Annie, and we're going to get rid of, I think, Rengar, put on Zaya, and I went up on Aphelios. Okay, we've been really messy there, really messy. Put these items onto Aphelios for now, and that's probably going to be it for the moment. Took a bit too long there moving around our team, but I think we've still done enough to win the battle. We need to take off the Jinx and put somebody better in her place. Maybe we go back to Mundo for Bruiser and Slayer. Just for now. We've got Zac actually. I'm up for playing around with an early Zac. Sell the Mundo, sell the Jinx, Leona should be at the front, and we're going to move this tank item onto Leona. We're also thinking about, yeah we are, we're going to put on Protector's Vow onto Leona. It's a great tank item, and we don't want to be greedy and hold our items for too long. We can sell this Jarvan, and I'm probably not going to freestar him. And what we really need now is a belt in this carousel. If we get a belt, just puts us in a much more secure place, because we can put the Golden Ox emblem even onto the Zac actually, and play around him rather than Aurora. And then just re-roll at level 8 for a while to start stacking up the Zac. Zac is really strong if you can get him early on into the game, as we've done. We've also got a Gunblade to heal him up. We can move potentially the Leona items onto him, or at least the Spirit Visage to keep him healing. So there's ways we can play around it. Somebody's died already somehow, or maybe surrendered. But we need a belt. That's what we need, is a belt. And luckily we've got Titanic Titans. Okay, I think I've changed my mind. We will be happy with getting a Tactician's Crown. Actually, oh, so many choices. Yeah, we'll take the Tactician's Crown. We're going to hope that we get a Viego later anyway. We'll take the Tactician's Crown. We've got the Zac. So this means we're going to be able to have an extra unit on our board. We were debating between just taking the Viego, as this player is really contesting us, but I think being able to just have an additional unit on the board is a big help for our team. So we're going to use this. And for now, I think we'll just chuck on Renekton. We're debating Cho'Gath, but I think Renekton's a good choice. We'll let him eat the Graves. We have got a Giant Slayer, which isn't my favourite item. We've got the Implant Size. I think this makes a lot of sense on Zac, actually. Give him even more health to play around with. I was going to use it on Leona, but I think the Zac makes more sense. And now we can roll at level 8, because we've got enough slots for a level 9 team. And the plan will be to play around Zac instead of Aurora. And then if we get the gold to later, we can consider going to level 9. We are still losing a bit, but not to be alarmed. We should be able to start rolling next round, so that we can make sure we get the units we need, which this player is contesting us on. We're also thinking about moving our items from Leona onto Zac, but we're not doing it yet. If we get 2-star Zac, or even a second Zac, we're just going to go for it. That's Leona. Not really getting many Zac blobs, are we? Only 2. Yeah, so he doesn't have any Leonas, he's got 2-star Xayah, he's got a Viego, only 1 Aphelios. He's taking a lot of the Xayahs, which isn't great. Is anybody else contesting us? More Xayahs, Leonas being taken. So we are being contested quite a bit, which is part of the reason why we're re-rolling now rather than leveling up, because we do need to hit some of these 2-star forecasts. We also want a Viego, which will swap for the Renekton in a heartbeat. We can see here the Rageblade stacking on our Aphelios. It's quite good, because even when he gets stunned, the Rageblade will still keep stacking. When he's casting, the Rageblade will still keep stacking. So I think a lot of people were worried about how this item would perform, but initial opinion is it's pretty good. I think it's only bad on characters who are purely reliant on their attack speed. We get a second Aphelios, he's just hit a 2-star Aphelios. We are going to roll quite aggressively to try and hit some of these units that we need. There's the Leona. I really want Zac or Viego, that's what I'm hoping for. If we get 2-star Renekton, I guess we'll use it. I'm not going to complain. We could use the duplicator on Renekton, but I don't think that's the way we want to play, especially considering that we're going to get rid of him. Sell some of these items. Characters. Sell some of these characters. Get to 40 gold. We do have a Gunblade available to us. We could do an Infinity Edge with a Rageblade potentially. Let's see what we get here. We do get the glove. So what we're going to do is move around our items a bit. We're going to do Gunblade, Infinity Edge, and a Rageblade. And then we're going to give Xayah a Last Whisper and the new Rageblade. I think the old Rageblade wasn't actually that good on a character like Xayah because she doesn't auto-attack that much on her own. But I think the new one is actually quite good. Okay, we've got a 2-star Zac on the table, which I think we're going to create next round and move the Leona items onto Zac. as we're starting to get the bloblets up for him. 13's not loads, but it's a start. And I think he'll just make good use of these items that Leona's using at the moment. Yeah, but you can see here the Rage Blade stacking on Zarya quite quickly, much quicker than it would have stacked normally on her. Still not doing all that much damage there. Okay, another Bloblet. We are going to keep rolling because we need to hit some units pretty urgently. There we go. That is the critical one that we needed. Keep rolling for now, just because we need to hit our gold spending. There's a 2-star Zac on his own. More bloblets. I'm thinking, do we use the duplicator for Zarya or Annie? We're actually going to... Let's move this to Zac. Big 2-star Zac. We'll wait to see which one of these we'll get, and then we'll use the duplicator on the other one. Maybe we'll save it and hope that we can get a 2-star Viego. We'll see. We've got a few options available to us. So you can see a pretty tanky Zac splitting into the bloblets. A lot of health and regeneration. Not quite enough for us to win the battle, but enough for us to slow down the rate that we're losing. We're also going to be getting item components from our Eye for an Eye from these losses, especially with how many units we've got, so there is a small silver lining to losing. How's the other player doing? Slightly worse than us. He's gone for 6 Vanguard. Oh, he's changed his mind. Yeah, pretty sturdy team. I think 2-star Viego is what's going to really take it to another level, especially if we can get a good item for Viego. A Warmogs for Zac would definitely be welcome. And this is also why it's important just to be flexible with what's going on in your game, you know? Even though the build wants us to go Aurora normally, if we get an early Zac and we're planning on staying at level 8, it can be really good. If we can get him up to 30 or 40 bloblets, you're going to see how powerful a 2-star Zac can be, especially if we can get a Warmogs for him. We are fighting the player who's contesting us. You can see the Gunblade and the Spirit Visage are doing so much for healing this Zac. We'll take a look afterwards to see how much health he's actually regenerating. He hasn't even split into his bloblets yet. Look at that. He healed almost 2k, wow, from the Spirit Visage. That is insane. And then another 2k from Aphelios. We've got a belt. Good start. Good start. Okay, let's see what items we've got on here. Okay, not the ones we want. Maybe another Gunblade for Zarya's not terrible. Maybe a Dragon Claw as a tank item is not bad. I think given where we are on the carousel, we're going to go for the second Gunblade. And we're going to go full healing. This is mission Keep Zac Alive. You can see between the two of them, they've done 4,000 healing. And that's really the Spirit Visage for Zac. I'm not sure if his ability heals him as well. It does. His ability heals him, so it's also that. But you can see a lot. And we're going to make it even more with the second Spirit Visage. We actually were debating putting that on Viego rather than Zarya. So that Viego gets some life still. But I think for now, Zarya's dealing a lot more damage. So we'll keep it on Zarya for now. We don't actually have any removals. We're going to put it on Zarya for now. And we'll think about putting it onto Viego later, maybe. Once we get in 2-star, I think then we can definitely justify it. Still holding that duplicator to see if we can use it on a 2-star Viego rather than on Zarya or Annie, but if it comes to a point where we might lose, then we will just use it. Okay, this is where we're hoping the healing starts to come alive. Both Zacs getting healed from our Zarya and our Aphelios and the Spirit Visage. And you can see we managed to, almost managed to win the battle. But how much healing did they do? 1,000 for Zarya, 2,000, another 2,000 from Zac. So a lot of healing going on between them. We're still kind of holding our money. It would be great if this player could die before we start re-rolling, as it will make our chances of hitting Viego, Annie and Zarya a lot higher. So hopefully this will be his last battle. And then we're going to start rolling next round. And hopefully we're going to get these bloblets up to 30. If we can get it even higher than that, that would be incredible. Only a 10% chance to spawn, so we'll have to see. Okay, we're against the Anima Squad player with a monstrous Vayne. Didn't notice this, but she's got the Flicker Blade, which is the old Rage Blade, but even better. So she's going to be a scaling monstrosity, and you can see he's on a mega win streak. As a result of it, we're not going to be able to take him down. I mean, look at that Vayne. Still, not the worst loss, although only 14 health, so unless we take a 1 health loss, we'll die. Our rival player seemed to have survived on 1 health, because he only had 2 enemy units left. Very lucky for him. We are going to start rolling now. We'll get Leona. I don't think we're going to get a 3-star, but there's the Viego that we were talking about. We're not going to use Aurora. I think we can probably sell these two. Don't see us getting to that power level. We're going to use the duplicator onto Viego, unless we manage to roll one in the upcoming roll that we're going to do, as we are approaching the final battles of the game, so we need to spend all of our gold. We're actually going over our Golden Ox here, but we kind of have to. Would have loved a 2-star Zarya, but unfortunately can't make it happen. We are going to move the Gunblade onto Viego, as we said we might do earlier. Chuck the belt on, do get some extra gold, but still no Zarya. So no Zarya, unfortunately, but we did hit the 2-star Viego through using our duplicator. We've got a 31 Bloblet Zac, which we're hoping is going to be enough. Between the Gunblade on Viego, the Gunblade on Aphelios, I mean Viego's already down, but you see this Zac is just so tanky. The Spirit Visage healing him based on missing health, which means that when he's low health, he's healing even more. Does get us the win. And we're just going to keep rolling all of our gold now. We've kind of given up on stacking this Golden Ox Horde, as we can't afford to hold our gold anymore. There's the 2-star Zarya, rounding out the team. Can't actually even see my team's damage properly. Something weird's going on there. I was going to say we're probably better off putting the Gunblade back onto Zarya, but don't really have a choice for that now. We're going to keep rolling just for the extra Bloblets. We are against this plough. So we did just defeat his clone, I think. Now it's time to see if we can fight the real deal. Our Zac is incredibly tanky. Warmog's Spirit Visage, Protector's Vow. He has so many heals and shields and just max health. And the Gunblades that we've got on our team. We're hoping that between it all, we can really do some damage. Zac is going to fall, but the Bloblets are coming out. And it looks like it is enough for us to end this player's win streak. So great battle. We've got a cloak, which we can use to make Evan Shroud. We've got another item. Give us something better. Okay. Let's just itemize the Viego more. We're now against the Vayne player, who is a nightmare. I actually didn't think you could put 2 Infinity Edges on the same character, but you can. This Vayne looks really, really scary. We've got the Viego who's going to jump onto her, so that's positive, I suppose. But still going to be a tough battle for us to win. It is his clone, so that's good. Does the Vayne target the Viego first? No, I think she's going for the job. Going for the Viego to a big ultimate here. Some good backline damage. Another strong hit, and actually it was quite a one-sided battle, I'd say. We've almost got enough gold to be able to hit our next Golden Ox threshold. We should start taking a look to see what units they're trying to 3-star and 2-star also. So we've got a belt here. Anything that goes well with the belt? I mean, we're probably better off just taking the Gargoyle Step Blade, to be honest, or the Warmogs. We'll go for the Warmogs. Great tank item. We're thinking... Well, I mean, we have to chuck it onto Leona because we haven't got a remover, but great tank item. Chuck it on Leona, make her even harder to kill. We are going to roll... How greedy are we going to be, actually? No, we should roll in case we die, even though we're going to miss out on hitting our next Golden Ox threshold, which is an extra 8.3% damage. But we don't know if this battle is going to be our last one, and so let's power up our Zac. We actually might be able to get the extra 1 gold that we need just by killing units in the battle. I think we should actually, so we will be able to get our Golden Ox threshold as well if we manage to win. We did beat this player's clone before, but I think he's just got a 2-star Renekton, and the clone battles are always easier, so we'll see. There's the level up for the Golden Ox. Can we beat him? Zac hasn't split yet, which is good. Can Aphelios target the Vayne? Yes, he can. Very close, very close. But look at this healing again, 3k. I don't know what's happening with my stats there, but it looked to be a lot of healing that was going on. So again, we're just going to forget about Golden Ox Horde now. We are just going to roll, hopefully get some more Zac Bloblets, get a couple. 47 Bloblets now, 7k health Zac with Warmogs, the new Spirit Visage, and Protector's Vow. Combined with our 2 Gunblades to 2 new Rage Blades, we've got a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Really enjoying this team, and hopefully a good game for you guys to see the power of the new Rage Blade and the new Spirit Visage in action. Okay, can we take him down? This is another player with 2-star Renekton. The Misfortune does ult our entire backline, so we actually may lose. Oof, we do lose the battle, but still, a good game to show off to you guys the power of the new Spirit Visage on that Zac. Unfortunately, Misfortune just targeted our backline and we should have positioned a little bit better, but a lesson learned from us. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.